The following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Join us in the shed as we continue a new frontier. In this episode, Lenore stays behind to help rebuild the infirmary and the city of Kingsbury. A huge thanks to Bridget for joining us from the beginning of this adventure. Come back soon. Enjoy the podcast. Hi, and welcome to The Shed for Adventures from the Shed. Find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com, on Spotify, and other places. You can chat with us on Facebook. We're on there regularly checking out your comments and likes on our links. We are going to go around the table and say hi here. We'll start right here.
Hey, this is Chris. I'm playing Uriel, the emulator, your friendly neighborhood Phoenix Fire Forge fire starter.
All with PHs.
Yes, yes, that is very important.
It's strong enough for a man. It's strong enough for a man, but pH balance for a woman.
I could just get that D to be the Dr. Fire.
It'd be the Fuckter.
The Fuckter.
Hi.
All right,
Fuckward.
and I am Kelly. I'm playing
Yes, you
Trillium, the Mostest, the Druid.
The most
The Mostest? I don't know.
The most
Druid with the
druid in the
hiccups.
party.
With the hiccups, yeah, that was me.
Nobody else was more party. Druid then.
Yeah,
Shouldn't have
Trillium.
left her
Party.
behind with the at the tavern with the
With the
goldfish.
The goldfish. Yeah.
and hey, this is Kurt. I am playing Breton, the ranger who is about to track some stuff.
And I'm Mike, the leastest.
The least.
But I'm playing Larry Burnsteel, Paladin Josiah. Go Joe.
Go Joe.
And I am Joe. I am the game master for this Dungeon World campaign, A New Frontier, set in our world of Paradisi. We are going to pick up where we left off, which was somewhere in Kingsbury, having discovered that the treasury had been ransacked. Also, we had spent a little time in the last episode talking about things that we were going to do to help Kingsbury out. Who wants to talk about that? What were we doing?
I can give a quick recap.
ahead.
We started off the last episode with a role that we don't use very often, the recruit role, and we kind of went to see how we could do recruiting other townspeople of Kingsbury to kind of help us rebuild the city. So we got help. Now remember, most of the best people, the leaders, have been killed off by the undead, but the people who were left came out to help us, and we slowly kind of moved through the city, killing the straggling undead who remained. Breton and Cloud went outside the walls and kind of worked on rallying the survivors out there and tracking undead out there, things like that.
And finding a druid.
And I was just going to say, most importantly, Cloud found our old friend Trillium.
Yeah.
She was not hiccuping at that point in time.
Trillium the mostest.
But the party was very glad to have her back. After fighting undead and recruiting folks, we spent the night in the secret room, the panic room at the infirmary. Kind of had Trillium join back up with us, and then undertook a few side ventures, including Breton's wanting to go and purchase, but I think kind of just taking over the gurgling goldfish.
Yep.
And then towards the end of the episode, we decided we wanted to go check on the treasury, and found that it had been razed to the ground, and any funds that remained had been, it looked like, stolen or ransacked.
Right. And as part of that, as part of helping to rebuild Kingsbury, Lenore is staying behind to help the infirmary, mainly because there's a lot of injured people who need help in Kingsbury, and she has chosen, as part of following Zoraika, to both embrace the suffering and help to cure the suffering of the people of Kingsbury. So she has stayed behind for that. So we won't hear from Lenore in this episode directly, at least. The tracks. As Breton is able to follow the tracks out of the rubble, you follow some kind of faint tracks that lead you outside of the rubble. As soon as you get to an area where the tracks are more clear, it is very clear to you that some of the tracks are the same as those the things we attributed to as being living statues in previous episodes, where it was something that was heavy, that was leaving deeper footprints in the ground, and an unmistakable dwarven footprint nearby that you can almost smell the foul smell of Drummond in the footprints.
Man, I'm a good tracker.
Yeah.
I don't just
That's
get
the
type.
use-
I get
That's
names.
the useful information about your quarry.
It also helps out that he has Drummond brand shoes that have
He does.
Drummond right.
That say Drummond across the
Yes,
hole.
they
That is
do.
very helpful.
Yeah. Hey, wasn't Mr. Drummond the guy from Different Strokes?
I think you might be right.
It's roast
Mr.
for
Drummond.
folks. It could be. I can't remember.
Anyway, yeah.
Drummond.
Drummond.
The
The evil dwarf. Who remembers what his role was so far?
Well, we thought he was the apprentice of Jolly Gerald, but who knows? Maybe he knew more than Jolly Gerald. Was
He was
kind
like
of playing
the shop manager. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, he could have just been playing. But we're sure what he was working on. If it had something to do with like that sacred weapon or something, or he had his own agenda.
He left fairly quickly.
Well,
right?
yeah, and he's got
Oh,
these
yeah.
these living statues doing his dirty work for him. But we never knew what he was connected to. If he was somebody's underling or if he's running the show. You know.
He was
Dirty
receiving
deeds.
the deliveries there for Jolly.
Right.
Yeah. Roger. What was
Gerald.
his name? Jolly
Jolly
Gerald.
Gerald,
Yeah,
yes.
old Jerry.
Cheers.
Yeah. I totally remember Drummond, and I remember the shop and everything. I don't have a super clear memory about the living statues. What was the deal with them?
They were right at the very beginning of our adventure when we had people sneaking in and stealing things, and it wasn't Valshan, or no, it was Valshan
It was
at that
Valshan.
time. It was before we
They were
went
stealing the certain
to
metal
Iraq.
and stuff.
Right.
They were stealing metals and things like that.
Right.
When they were tracked and found, what they were stone people. We called them living statues of some type. Oh, we called them gargoyles at one point too, but they're specifically not.
Now I totally
gargoyles.
remember. I was thinking kind of metal. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha. I'm with
They
you.
were rocks.
I remember now.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, we didn't really categorize. We didn't really have like stone golems.
No.
We didn't have a. Real
I've called
definition
them
of-
living statues because
No.
it's easy. They're of humanoids, but they're not gargoyles. They're not monstrous. They're not golems. They're
I completely am with you now. I was thinking kind of metal constructs, and I was like, I can't remember
Yeah.
any metal constructs.
Were they made by humans, or are they
that we don't know yet.
Yeah.
natural?
I should say
occurring?
that you don't know
Yeah,
yet.
he is
Okay.
completely wrapped in mystery. This Drummond character.
Okay.
But he might not even be a dwarf. Like, who knows right now?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
oh-
Laramie's just heard stories from you, and you make him sound like some kind of boogeyman. So
He is, because man, you don't
He has definitely escaped.
like you know, like something's not right with this guy, but you can't pin anything. You can't pin anything on this guy. He's super sneaky. He's a good bad guy, actually.
So the tracks lead west out of town.
Weast.
West, which is
West is the
west
beast.
and east, which means you just stand still looking in two directions
Weast is the beast.
at the same time. So west out of town kind of leads back towards where you came from.
Yeah.
Although, let me put it this way, because we have the whole map
So we
thing.
go to
Kingsbury is on the east side of the island, the big island. When you go either east or west, east or south out of town, you're closer to docks, right? West out of town, go straight out into the, I want to call it wilderness, but straight out into the suburbs of Kingsbury. So there are a couple of smaller little establishments out there. And
Some hamlets and
that's
whatnot.
also where, when Breton had talked to Melissa of the strippers, she told him about a couple of factions out there setting up camp. So there are camps out there of hundreds of people, burning torches, a couple of banners flying. It just seems like people that might be ready to come in and try and take over parts of Kingsbury.
But if he took like all the treasure from the horde,
Yeah.
like he could probably, it's so much that he would probably have to go fairly close. So maybe we can catch up. Maybe he's
Unless he got a
hunkered
boat
down
ride
and-
somewhere.
I mean, it's been a couple of days, depending
Yeah.
on what kind of transportation he has. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can easily follow the tracks outside of town, and then because of all the stuff going on outside of town, the tracks fade pretty quickly.
I wonder if we can
Or
ask
at
these
least they're
people, or you
overrun.
could ask these people to see if they've seen any dwarf milling about doing something.
Or, living statues.
Well, he's going to keep those guys out of sight. I gotta
Yeah,
be
it took you guys a little bit of effort to even see one the first time.
honest. Yeah.
If I remember, the first time you saw one, it was just up in the shadows on the ceiling, and somebody caught it or saw it
Yeah, it was one in
as
the
it was
cave.
running away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys actually kill one of these? Or?
Yeah, I got away.
Oh, okay.
That was when we were in that cave.
Did you attempt to kill one of them?
Definitely.
Fast.
And what?
You
how
don't
did that
see
play
things you
out?
don't try to
They
kill. I mean,
escaped. We couldn't. Yeah.
Okay.
We're still very much in the dark about him and his minions.
So we came across some people.
Outside of Kingsbury to the west, just a few hundred yards outside of town are some camps pretty much on opposite sides of the road. One flying like blue and white banners, the other flying red and orange banners, and it looks like people from different parts of the island, the huge island of Kingsbury. And they're probably just getting ready to come into the city and take over what they want. I say probably because what else would they be doing?
They look armed like a.
Well, there's
militia,
both.
like a-
I mean, there's both. There are people that are armed, but there are also families and merchants, what have you. It looks like they just want to come in. They're just waiting for somebody to come and clear out all the undead, like you guys were doing.
Yeah.
Although you got about halfway through the city, maybe 2/3. We'll call it 2/3.
This might be a good time to mention a minor change I made to my character
Okay.
because I know the
So Cloud's a boy.
listeners. No, Cloud's still a girl. The listeners at home are following every single
perfect.
move.
Well, especially for you.
Rapt attention.
Yeah.
And I had made a mistake at my level 6. We're at level 6, right? Mm-hmm. My level 6 choice, I took something that I was
Sex
not
in
eligible
German.
to take. So on the break, I switched it to special trick,
Ah,
which
what's
lets me
that do?
choose a move from another class. And so long as I'm working with my animal companion, I have access to that move. And since I'm a ranger tied to the land, I took a druid move, Eyes of the Tiger, which lets me physically mark an animal, and then that I can see through the eyes of that marked animal wherever it goes.
That's kind of cool.
And since I can already talk with and understand animals, I thought this would expand my ability to scout at distance,
That is
or
pretty cool.
in places that might be hard for us to get to. And Trillium didn't have that move, so I don't think I was stepping on her toes too much by taking it.
It's all good.
You can take a ranger move if it makes you feel better.
I tried, but all your moves were shitty.
I know yours are really. I wanted to take shape shifting, but I thought that might be stepping on her toes too much.
Yeah, I tried to take
It'd be like
ranger
the
moves.
Wonder Twins.
I know. I thought about it.
Into
I
that.
totally thought about it.
That'd be amazing.
But then you could only
Because it
take...
just says it says literally you could take any move, and I was like,
Yeah.
wait, I could take shapeshifter.
Sure.
They could do wonder
I
turns,
mean,
though.
but it's funny because a lot of your moves,
There's
your
overlap.
moves complemented the druid moves that already
Exactly,
I have.
exactly.
So yeah, a lot
Exactly.
of yours I couldn't really.
I was gonna take a
choose from.
cool wizard move or something, but I was like, it doesn't make sense with my character. Whereas this one makes sense. So
Yeah, I think it does.
So my point here was, we may want to talk to these various groups and things, but I'd also love to maybe call a hawk or a raven or something and
Okay.
send a bird out to kind of scout, looking for Drummond.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Drone strike. Good
On
idea.
that, I was going to ask: is
like
it
that.
nighttime or is it daytime?
I would presume you guys are headed out in the morning.
Yeah.
late
Okay, so it's morning.
Yeah.
I was wondering because if it was nighttime, I'm imagining if I could maybe shapeshift into like a bat or something that has like maybe heat detecting or
Sure,
like,
why not?
because I don't know about these rocks though, these rock people or these stone.
We don't
Figures.
know. We
Yeah,
really
that's
don't know.
something we really don't
Is
know
that
a lot about yet.
a natural occurrence or is that
Well, from
like,
the druid's
would I detect heat?
From the
Would I-
druid's perspective, you've experienced these things before now. Your character has, and you know they're not natural.
well,
For
my
sure.
character hasn't experienced
Yeah,
these.
you did.
You did. You were
I
part
did?
of the party when we first saw them.
Yeah.
It's been like 7 months
Yeah,
or
it's been that
so.
long.
Drummond's all
Okay.
season one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might have been during the fireball episode. I mean, anything's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trillium
didn't really
has a bad
fight the-
memory. Her lifestyle
That's okay.
kind of.
Yeah.
The halfling's weed has dulled your mind.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, you should totally play that quirk for Trillium that she has a bad memory.
No, I know. It,
She does have the halfling
I
weed
do.
pipe
I
on there.
have the
But
halfling.
Kurt, that's all of your characters.
halfling pipe. I have that.
Yeah. Six
So
uses.
What does Halfling
Trillium?
Pipe say?
I don't know. It's written there. I don't even
Oh,
remember
it
what.
gives you a +1 to parlay if you smoke with someone when you're trying to parlay.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
You should write that down.
That's
plus my
awesome.
parlay.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, so anyways, so can I send my scout bird up?
I mean, I want to roll out of this. So let's do. How would you recruit a bird? And I don't mean to use the word recruit as in the move. I mean, how would Breton find a bird. You're just like, here, chick.
With his arm on his weights.
That's a
Because
great question.
Yeah, I want to roll out of it to see how it turns out. Because your move,
Trillium's gonna be like, no, you're doing it all right. You gotta do it like this.
Watch out.
the move is just that it works, right? There's nothing about the move that requires a roll,
Correct.
right? So I want to
I
roll.
do have to be able to mark it physically.
right.
With
So
the
I
touch,
want the
by
roll
touch.
to be, how do you get the animal to you in a friendly manner so that you can carry this out?
Right.
What would that be? It's going to be a defy danger with something. Tell me your approach.
I mean, in a perfect world, I'd have if I was trying to get a hawk or a raptor, I'd have a little bit of meat or something to try to draw it in. But I don't know right now with what we're doing that I would have raw meat. So
yeah.
um,
I like what I
think in a
heard too.
perfect world, you just go, "Hey, Druid, could you be a bird?"
I was gonna say, do you want me to just?
well, we
You're
can
choose
but then he's
off
seeing through
doing
your eyes,
something
it's
and not
weird.
with the party.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
why I took this was so that she could
It gives me an opportunity to just bring some news back after you guys do some interaction. too.
exactly. So let's say I would speak in a hawk, and I would announce that there's going to be a hawk orgy 25 yards that way in 3 minutes. Really hot hawks. Any hawks want to come? And just see what happens.
All right. What stat's that going to be, everybody? What do we think that would be? What
Call
is-
that
when you,
diplomacy.
shout, when you shout as a bird,
What's charisma?
hawk orgy, that's got to be charisma.
Charisma,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'd
All right,
say
all right,
charisma.
we got that. So,
All right.
Kurt, defy some danger with
I got a
charisma.
+1
Because the
to charisma.
danger, of course, is they think that you're the target of the orgy, and you might be
Piercing damage?
Yes, you might be ganged up on with some hawks here. Sure.
Awesome. I rolled an 8 + 1, 9.
All right, so it's not so
And
bad.
I could make that a 10, but I don't think it's probably worth it here.
I mean, it's super worth it. You have 3 chips.
Yeah, I would say to avoid any complications by your approaching hawk orgy, you might want to use a chip.
Although I'd love to see I'd love to see what complications for the hawk orgy you come up with. Why don't we use a chip?
Yeah, all right, because you might give birth to some kind of hawk thing in a few months if you don't.
That's pretty cool.
All right.
That would be cool.
Breton lays an egg.
Breton lays an
That's
egg.
that's a title.
It is.
All right. So that takes me down to 2 chips remaining and gives me a 10 on the roll.
Okay, so a hawk with a boner shows up. And how do you mark?
Oh my god, do hawks have like those weird corkscrew
Oh,
boners
jeez.
that
Those
like
are just
ducks
tigers.
have?
No.
What?
You know,
Ducks
ducks have like corkscrew.
Oh yeah.
penises?
Yeah.
So they can stay together in the water.
Yeah, do hawks?
I thought it was
have
for
that?
opening like wine bottles or something.
There's that too.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Well, I do have several dirty thoughts about the ways that I could mark this hawk. I'm just gonna say that I take a little bit of dirt from the ground and put it on his right wing, and
So it's going to fly in circles.
just a little bit, just a little smear.
Okay.
Hey, man,
What
where
is-
the hawks at?
Where's the
Hawks at?
Where does hawks at?
Where's what does the mark look like? How is it identifiable? I'm curious.
What's Breton's mark?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I want to read it, or I want to play it as it reads, not like make a hawk dirty and you can look through its eyes.
Oh,
Those hawks are already dirty.
Yeah, they're already dirty.
They showed up for an orgy. Come on.
seriously, they're like, hey, what was this one called? Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. How about
fight.
You have to sing the song to summon the hawk. Yeah.
it's a half circle with
Yeah.
a line straight through it, so like a really
It's a
simple
croissant. We talked about croissants last episode.
Not a croissant. It's like a
A croissant is a half circle with a line in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a croissant. Or,
It's a dirt
or a
croissant.
simple bow and arrow.
Okay.
There you
That
go.
makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
Kind
I like
of.
the croissant better.
Do you think the hawk girls will like this?
Yeah.
Is this a new look for me?
By the way, that's the hawk talking to you because you understand them, right?
Right. Oh,
Apparently, this is Batman Hawk.
yeah. And then I'm gonna put a black. On one of his towns. I'm just gonna put a black like swinger hawk ring. And he's gonna be like, "I'm open for business."
I got a bracelet and everything.
I got a bracelet and everything.
I'm in the fly style. Let's go. Let's go.
So, what is it you wanted? So, once you've made that mark, you can now see through the hawk's eyes. This would be a new experience for you. And I mean, based on the way nature channels portray this, birds of prey pretty much have tunnel vision. They see what's right in front of them. So that's what you'll see. What is it you're sending the hawk up to do? It's almost, to me, I'm going to
So
picture
you-
it's like looking through binoculars.
Right. So you do see what's right in front of them, but when they're searching for food, they're looking.
Oh, yeah, they
everywhere.
can, right.
Yeah. So, yeah, and so I'm going to tell him that we're looking, someone came this way, probably a little short guy and some weird looking big stone dudes. And just go see if you can find them. Don't go more than 10 miles that way. And then
What would the Hawk say to that, Mike?
Are the Hawk ladies there? Like I was told there would be an orgy.
my
I didn't know it was business time.
My corkscrew is ready to go.
Corkscrew's ready to go.
the ladies are taking a little longer to get here than I thought, but I
God.
promise my word is bond. They'll be here when you get back. Trillium, they'll be here when he gets back, right?
Yeah, I
gonna
can
be-
guarantee
they're gonna
it.
be-
There'll be at least one really hot hawk here when you get back.
Oh shit! I mean, maybe.
All right.
And there'll either be a couple of dogs or one really good looking, highly verbose
I mean,
hawk.
it better be good.
They better not be
I was told
real
there'd be
dogs.
good Hawks.
And I'm try not to like dip and dive too much because I might get a little nauseous. Here. Just so.
I make no promises.
All right, well, just do your best.
Showed up for an
Okay,
orgy.
so
you
did you
dirtied
just
his word.
I might have just
charge
pimped-
me
I'm-
with finding lady hawks for this guy,
You either-
or did you just like pimp me out to be
I
this
think you got
guy's lady hawk?
simped.
So when you raise money, it's either give or get. You either have to get people to donate, and if you can't, then you have to give.
Okay.
You're give or get here.
Now, the thing is,
I'm about to go fishing for some hawks.
when you need hawks for an orgy, you go to Trillium the Mostest,
Oh God.
right? That's just what you do.
I mean, I'll work with you, but I'm gonna be focused here
Yeah.
on seeing what he's seeing.
This is going to be like distracting. This is going to be you have one screen in one eye and the real world in the rest. So like wearing Google Glasses or something
That's
weird.
kind
I would also
crazy.
imagine that the
You'll
first few
be-
times I use this, it might
yeah.
be a little disconcerting.
Your equilibrium will be off.
Equilibrium.
You will,
Maybe you have to sit
Yeah.
on the ground or something.
You could probably just ride a Trillium again, I guess, maybe.
yeah,
Oh.
and puke on her back if you just.
I don't know. I don't want to wear anyone out if she might have to fuck a hawk later.
Exactly. I got a lot
She
of
might
pressure
have
on me
to.
right now.
Yeah.
God damn.
Welcome back, Kelly.
You owe me big time.
So with that, the hawk goes off, and you see, as the hawk flies past, you see these camps on both sides of the road, and it looks like each one has a little a war tent. Where they're probably the important people are hanging out there, and there are plenty of little campfires. It looks like big groups of people camping, but they're flying their banners. They're getting ready to go into the city. It doesn't look like there's anything violent at all going on. Maybe just people thinking that they can go in and take over the city peacefully rather than forcefully. The hawk flies past that, and we'll take a few minutes to see what you guys are doing. Now that we just talked about hawk orgies for 15 minutes.
Well,
crazy.
Trillium's doing her makeup and making sure she
Orgies,
looks
yeah.
good for the night.
No, I'm
Should have the
hustling
feathers
trying
on
to
it.
find ladies, so I don't have to be the one that gets,
So you're the one that's being the pimp.
Yes. She is.
Yeah, I'm trying to be the
You're the
pimp,
madam,
Yes.
not the pimpy.
the hawk harem.
I don't think it'll be too hard for Trillium to
picture,
find a
like-
couple of hawks.
I picture though, like I'm trying to talk to the people, and behind me I hear Trillium just going, "Scream!"
And she got this wide brim hat and a furling fur coat on. And
Well, so I can talk with my hawk. I should really get your name since we're gonna, we can.
the hawk's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Eric.
Eric.
So Eric, I need a couple of good selling points for the lady hawks here. But if you were writing a little online profile here, what would you want to send out to the ladies?
I feel like I got some strong wings.
Ooh, ladies like strong wings.
I got good talons, and
A man of many talents.
I like
I'm,
long flights on the beach.
I'm a very gentle hawk lover.
Oh, well, they won't all like that, but some will.
Well,
Some of them want it rough, dude.
yeah. I mean, you can't have all of them, I guess.
All right,
He has
Trillium,
impeccable taste.
Trillium, you got that?
Oh,
Okay, I got that. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. I'll be here all day. We want to question any of these people, see if they.
That Mike was just mentioning
Yeah.
that Laramie might be talking to folks. So you get people from. I'm sorry, I got to go back to that map for a second. You get people from Walsh and Bainham, which are two cities or towns in between Kingsbury and St. Angelique. And those are the two banners that are flying. And the general gist you get from people is that they're just looking for another place to live. And they hear Kingsbury has been sacked and they would like to come help out.
What? I mean, I appreciate that. I'm sure they could use all the help they can get. So,
Yeah.
y'all see any dwarves come through here? Maybe with a bunch of loot?
There's been all kinds of people fleeing the city for days. And we're just hoping at some point that that our scouts that go in are able to find a safe place to live. And it seems like that somebody's been in there recently killing a lot of the undead. Is that you guys?
I mean, yeah. I don't like to toot my own horn, but yeah, we did some.
But
10-4.
toot.
10-4, we done that.
We don't fuck them up.
Oh,
I mean, if y'all went in town, you could probably finish them off, help them out. You know,
Okay. They might could do that.
I
I
could.
could.
So you kind of get the same vibe from both sides of the road from the two different towns. And it just seems like, as morbid as it is, some people are going to try and profit off of what happened. Try and help rebuild the town with bringing people in from two other towns.
I mean,
They're within a couple days of it, so when they first heard about it, there was curiosity. Then some people gathered. It's been a couple of weeks now, so.
Hopefully,
We gotta get more
Lenore
people.
can help sort out who's
Oh, I'm sure she would.
the good from the bad.
Yeah. And there are definitely, you can tell, there are some people there who are just interested in gain, others who just want a new place to live. Maybe their town was too crowded or whatever it was. But there are people from all parts of the spectrum within each of the two camps. And this goes along with that role we were talking about earlier, recruiting people to run the city. There isn't just two camps of really nice people wanting to move in and redecorate. You get the full spectrum there.
well, I mean, a lot of the city's empty right now, so
Yeah.
like, even if they want to make money, like, those people they're not stealing the jobs from people; they're stealing it from
From
people
the
that were
undead.
deceased.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Okay.
you got to rebuild it somehow, I guess.
That works. Is anyone else interested in speaking to the folks around, asking any other questions? How do you guys want to talk to the people who are about to enter Kingsbury, if at all?
I want to make
who's about to enter Kingsbury?
These two factions outside from the two cities nearby. Two towns. I'm going to keep saying cities. It's towns. Walsh and Bainham, which are towns to the west of Kingsbury. There are two contingencies from these towns, people from all walks of life who just want to resettle in the remains of Kingsbury.
I mean,
I wonder if we could.
I want to see if there's any apprentice or journeyman smithy guys that need a job. Work at my forge.
I want to give you a 50-50 shot on this. You pick odd or even and roll whatever die you want.
All right, I'll do odd. What dice we got over here? I'm rolling something that's not mine.
Pick something. Yeah, those I think
something
was what
that's not
Bridget was
yours?
using.
Why does that matter?
There we go. I'm gonna go odd on this.
Oh,
Yep.
you did roll a
Yeah.
20 though. That's
Yeah.
got to count for something.
My dice roll well.
You
Yeah.
really, really
They look
didn't.
tasty, too.
Yes, they're delicious.
So
Can you add one to it to make it 21?
there's at least.
Use my chip.
You know what? I'll let you do that if you want to use the chip.
All right.
Okay. So you find somebody who is a blacksmith in Bainham. His shop wasn't doing so well, but he thinks it was because a couple of the shops in Kingsbury were taking business from him. So he thinks now, well, hey, I
mean,
can go run the
it's an
place.
affiliate of my forge and from Valshan, but you can run it.
Well,
you-
the biggest competition he had was this place called King's Metal.
Well, you'd be running King's Metal for me.
That would be so cool.
I hope this guy's name's Phineas.
It is now. Spelled with a PH, of
Of
course.
course.
Yeah.
I only hired
So
PHs.
Phineas will run Phoenix Fire Forge.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Let me make sure.
The
I
next
type that
time
there.
we'll have to fight a Philip.
Right.
That is the sheriff in Valshan, Philip Omiholis. You don't remember him?
Yeah.
He was your first.
Vaguely.
He was the first guy that you guys worked with on the side of the law.
The law.
Yeah. But he was a sheriff in Valjean.
Yeah, I remember. He didn't really do much though.
No, because
If you guys want to help us out,
he's the only one. So him
Yeah.
trying to chase around
Whatever.
people that are stealing stuff all around the city. That's why you guys were recruited.
Yeah, yeah.
It was your first mission.
Excellent.
All right. So you got Phineas, who will go work in King's Meadow, a division of Phoenix Fire Forge.
Awesome. Got that take. All right.
Anything else?
Good to go. So
Do we
can
want
get
to warn them, like, hey, this town has been, through some
It's
stuff
rock
in
bottom
the
right
last,
now, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons they're there. They have scouts that go kind of look and see what's going on. So they know it's a mess.
I'm
and
assuming-
they want to be there and rebuild. They figure, well, that squatter's a wrong word, but they figure they're going to go in there. They're going to
new
find
blood.
a place
Take
that
advantage of some
nobody's
stuff,
alive
yeah.
with, and they're just going to rebuild it.
Right.
I wonder if, and I'm not saying we should, but Uriel's kind of pretty badass with his immolator stuff. If we want,
Oh, yeah.
Do we want to make any kind of statement that, I don't know how exactly to say it, but Kingsbury is kind of under our protection, or that we expect noble behavior from them, and have you like make a little flame dance on your hands or something?
Well, there's already fires here. I could make some.
Wow.
Yeah, I can make it. Yeah, impressive. Well, I can try to do something impressive.
I don't know if we care or not.
I'm out of
but
chips.
If you
Lenore
care,
is still back there.
if you care enough, it sounds like you are either parlaying.
Want to smoke some pipe?
Right. So if you're
people-
parlaying, the idea would be you want something out of them, and you have something that they want. Now, if you're threatening them with something.
Yeah, we're not trying
Are you
to.
threatening
Are we?
them
Yeah, I don't
with
want to
their
be
think
those
of it as a
guys.
subtle intimidation, maybe, or persuasion more than persuasion.
So that wouldn't necessarily be a parlay. I would just say that this would probably end up being a defy danger roll for somebody, and how you approach it is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because with parlay, it really is you have something they want, they have something you want, and you're making a negotiation over it.
Well, it's up to you guys. I don't know if we would do that, but my inclination might be. I mean, we got all these strangers going into Kingsbury. We don't want it to end up a free for all. But the
Well-
Right, so
the
these aren't
worst guy-
necessarily like bad people. They're just people like, hey, we have these towns, and
Okay.
Oh, to be clear,
we
some
want
of
to
them
move.
are bad.
Right, but yeah, but it's
Right.
not like we can't judge a whole group by like a couple bad apples.
No, I,
right?
Right.
I agree. I'm just saying we might want to.
And there's still going to be people coming from St. Angelique. Oh, we can go back now. It's just still going to be. Those people could be bad too. The guys that ran the town, they could be a bunch of
Remind
crap
that there's
heads.
some
Yeah.
badasses out there.
I mean, there were some bad people in the town before.
Right, so
Yeah.
you're going to,
I mean,
This
you
being a
guys
much
wanna-
smaller
you
population.
just have to hope that the people who try to maintain law and order aren't, like was Glorin or whatever his name was.
Well,
Like,
or
they're
you
not
can
that type of
suggest
guy.
to them that if they don't, you might fry them with a fireball.
Yeah, I might open up the sky and rain fire on top of them.
That's how you want to do it.
Which I
I
mean,
mean,
people
if
they
we're
might
gonna-
have they heard that story? Like, is that the guy? Because I kind of
It's
stand
been-
out.
Let's say it's been 3 days,
You know,
and sure, I don't see why not. Now they wouldn't recognize you by sight, but you might be able to give a demonstration.
right? Just,
They've heard about, and anybody who has checked it out or may have been nearby would have seen fire raining from the sky.
okay.
They probably just didn't see you because they wouldn't have been right there watching.
Yeah.
So you have to demonstrate who you are,
This could be a tough one.
what you know about this.
What kind of tricks do you want me to do?
You get what I'm saying, though?
Oh yeah, I
Just
get what
letting
you're
them know
saying.
that maybe we're keeping an eye on things.
And I like the
mean-
idea to help influence how
Yeah.
Kingsbury is reformed.
Give it a shot.
But
Give it a shot.
if you
Use my
guys
Zuko
wanna
style to
do-
like form a phoenix out of the flames that are in the
Okay.
burning, whatever's burning around the campfires.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, you make like a phoenix.
Almost
You
like a death's head, like the Harry Potter. I do.
Yeah,
I
you
do a
can juggle
phoenix.
like, and then just throw up a like.
Yeah, a little feet.
So do you want to get the same message to both camps? If so, then before you do that, I want to hear from somebody else. How do you bring the leaders of both camps together? Because right now they're not adversarial.
You're the charisma guys. That's not my play.
Orgy in the road in 5 minutes.
There's a hawk
Okay.
orgy, like right over.
Orgy's not the answer to all the questions.
I have the halfling weed.
You
I
can parlay.
have the halfling weed. I have +1 parlay if we need it.
if we're going to parlay.
I mean, we
But
spark up, we chat.
the idea of the parlay is you have something they want. What is it you guys have that they want?
They want access to the town.
Yeah.
But
We can
you,
go. No, you can't go there because
But
it's our
can you
town.
actually stop them?
We can,
when
we
you
can-
think when
we
you
can
think about it,
threaten.
yeah,
we can
you
threaten,
could,
right? Yeah.
Because they number probably in the thousands, and you guys are.
I don't know. I can watch the world burn.
I mean,
I don't have that.
when I was
much
asking
halfling.
questions, when I was asking questions before, they
Personal
asked,
stash, guys.
Sorry, Mike. What were you saying?
they sort of asked about like, oh, were we the people that were clearing it out? And I did say yes.
Yep.
So maybe
And they definitely appreciate that, so they don't have to go in and die.
maybe
So that in
there's like
itself-
a rumor would,
Yeah, those guys-
would filter back to the leadership that, oh, this is the
And then
people
how
that
would
did
you
it.
use that information? I guess that's what I'm looking for. So sure, the rumor may reach them. How do you use that rumor to get them to come talk to you?
See, I would be hoping that maybe they would see us as like a powerful ally that they could have for their side, and that they would want to come and meet with us so that they could be like, oh yeah, the guys that cleared out the town were totally with us, so we're cool to go in there.
Yeah. Do you want to be with us or against us? We're a small group of people. We cleaned up that town on our own.
So let's say they don't just come out to meet you. How do you get them to come out to meet you? Because they've got their own plans. Just to hear that somebody else is out there, not too big of a deal right now.
Let's have a barbecue. Throw a barbecue. Invite
Well,
everybody.
we should probably tell them to be careful because there's no leadership in the town. It's basically like a free-for-all. I mean, there's really...
But do we want to say that? That's the
Yeah, because
point.
then you're saying, oh, it's free for the taking.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
in this
there's leaders
1,000
of these two
people,
factions. You know?
In this 1,000 group people, are there women and children?
Oh,
are
yeah.
they
Yeah.
just men?
Yep.
Okay, well, I mean, they're
All
obviously
walks of
looking to
life.
settle.
Exactly the
know?
point. Yeah. They're looking to settle in the capital of the world.
Right.
It's like
so,
if New York City was ransacked,
Yeah,
people
so, like,
from
they're
like
gonna
New
wanna
Jersey would
know.
show up
They
and want to
would.
take over. This is what we're going through right
Okay, so
now.
they're
Massachusetts
gonna
and New
wanna
Jersey
know.
now want to occupy New York City.
Like, there's a touch of anarchy going on.
Yeah.
And that's something that should be, I think, said.
Well, his thing is like, how do we get? And granted, we only need to get a couple people from each side to like come together. We can have a meeting with.
Right. You
They
want the
could
people in
disseminate.
charge to come to a meeting. How are you calling that meeting? Because
Start
they don't
banging
have
shit.
pagers or cell phones or anything.
How are
could-
we calling this
Just,
meeting?
just
Yep.
ask. Hey, go get your boss.
I can make a big phoenix.
And that works.
in the
just-
sky.
we
Maybe
gotta
we'll come.
get to
Hey,
that
where's
point.
that coming from?
Right.
Try to do that.
I could have Cloud go up and
Lick them.
Oh, wait.
Lick everybody.
Oh,
I
wait.
think,
Oh, wait. She said, the Druid has special meeting calling powers.
She's got
The
some new.
Druid
She's got some new
has some
skills
new
now.
powers,
Yeah?
yeah. So let's see. I can shapeshift into
a bugle
elements: fire, water, air, earth.
to call the meeting.
Yeah. I mean,
And the reason I want to spend this time on it, it is the capital of the world.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that when we walk away from this, that we know what we're walking away from. Right now, you're walking away from a city you've partially cleared,
Yeah.
left somebody in charge of the hospital, and then there are a couple of groups outside waiting to just come in. So who knows where that leads? If you guys want to influence that, which it sounds like you do, let's make sure we do that before walking away from it.
I think we should just tell each side, just pick a random person, tell them, hey, go get 2 or 3 of your leaders and bring them back here. And if they don't, we start playing with fire.
And
get
that's
their-
easy
to get their
enough. I just
attention.
want to make sure we get to that point. Mike had mentioned that
Yeah,
too.
that sounds
Just
fine.
tell somebody.
I could literally write messages in the sky if I wanted to.
Really? You're like a skywriter. Do you have a biplane to do that? That'd be pretty cool.
I could shift into air and write messages in the sky, or arrows, or symbols, or whatever to be like that
Nice.
way.
Hawk orgy over here. 5
says-
miles.
Hawk orgy,
You look
town
up.
meeting,
You look up one morning. It says "Ghoulfish loves you."
surrender Dorothy.
So that too. Yeah,
Like,
Dorothy's like, oh, not again.
she surrenders every other day now because the Druid got this new power.
I'm just saying.
But I know all of these things are good. So now let's say, because a
going
couple
with?
of people have said it, we just got messengers. People you talk to say, oh yeah, I know the guy in charge. I know him. I know her, whatever it is. And within a day, you're able to set up a meeting. You get, from both sides, you get 2 people. And from, I keep closing it so I can't see what they are again. But from
Walsh and Bainham or something.
Walsh and Bainham. From Walsh there's kind of like the captain of their guard and their mayor, both guys, and then from Bainham, it's actually women, and one of them is the banker at Bainham and their mayor as well. So you get these 4 people who show up and see, because you guys are all going to be in one spot, somewhere where it smells of hawks and sex, right?
Hopefully not.
Does it smell
yet.
like strawberry and coconut and pineapple?
They approach, and so you guys have done a decent job clearing out or helping to clean up our new city. What is it you want?
I mean, listen, we got stuff to do, but I mean, we want to make sure that y'all are going to go and do this right. So could you, I don't know, like, I'm a paladin of Josiah. Like, I am the law.
Yeah.
So,
Like, I am the law.
The paladin has a move called "I Am the Law."
so if you could, like, I don't know, do this right. Like, do right for all the people. Not just, like, money-wise. I don't know.
Come on, y'all.
Come on,
If
y'all.
you don't want to get fruit punched,
My middle name is Eloquent.
What is
Yeah.
the I am the law move?
Go ahead and say it, Mike.
When you give an NPC an order based on your divine authority, roll plus charisma. On a 7+, they choose 1. On a 10+, they you also take +1 forward against them. On a miss, they do as they please, and you take a -1 forward against them. So if they would either do what I say, back away and flee, or attack me.
Yeah. Now, here's where the roll is really going to explain what happened. Either they are on board with Josiah to begin with and take your, I don't know, less than committed command
Yeah.
and roll with it, or they don't give a darn. Let's find out. Oh, plus charisma.
can we aid him anyway? Gotta-
If you take a moment to tell me how you would have prepared for this meeting, yes, you have time. How would you prepare for this?
I'd
Presuming
let him roll, and if he fails, you do your own roll.
Okay.
Because I think you
Yeah.
could be very
I
persuasive.
got you. Yeah, it's a different kind of. Yeah, it's more intimidation.
Well, I mean, you could also just give him fire wings as he's talking. You pick how you
Yeah, it's
want
up
to
to
do
you.
this. Yeah.
yeah, I could really, like, playing the whole divine power thing by
Yeah.
doing that. Yeah, bending the fire to it look like you're almost doing it too.
Okay.
That'll work.
Sounds good.
Go for it.
So just a straight up
Try
aid
it. Yep,
roll.
aid. That'll give him a.
Kevin.
So I'll give you a +1.
Okay.
Let's see how that goes. Which is good because you don't have the charisma modifier to begin
No,
with.
but
So
he
good.
crushed it anyway.
Yeah.
That's a 10 on the dice +1 and makes it an 11.
There we go.
Very nice.
So it turns out the mayor, the woman from Bainham, is a follower of Josiah, and
Oh.
she had planned on actually checking out the cathedral first. And she's very interested in hearing how the cathedral held up under the siege from the undead.
Well, it unfortunately did not. So I was meaning to get a message out to y'all, but yeah, it was a massacre in there. It's a
That's
really bad
horrible.
day.
I'll have to go straight there.
I mean, that sounds good. Can you get a message out to the other temples?
Oh,
please?
definitely. We can send a message out. We'll send it by Sex Hawk.
All right, I hear they're real fast.
Yeah.
Especially that one over there.
We'll see if Eric's available.
Well, then, as a good follower of
Said
Josiah,
sex.
you will surely work to ensure that justice is done for all as Kingsbury is refounded under your watch.
Definitely. And she's genuine. Oh, definitely, for sure.
That is great. That is what I could hope for in this meeting that my party wanted me to do.
Very, very convincing.
Go, Joe.
Go, Joe.
Go, Joe.
So you can leave this area with the assurance that both sides are ready to do good as they enter the city.
Okay. Did Sex Hawk see anything?
Okay. Then we can, flip scenes.
I know you want what's on my mind.
So Breton's vision changes to seeing through the hawk's eyes, and you can just see one feather moving up and down fast in front of him. No. Is able to follow the trails that you've described and looking for the dwarf and the stone things. And although there's no vision of them, you don't actually spot them, Eric is fairly sure that they went into some underground thing over in that hill over there, and it's just like a couple of miles to the west from where you are. But the trail definitely leads to an entrance that goes underground. And as a hawk, he doesn't really want to fly in there. Probably couldn't even turn around to get out.
Good enough.
So Trill, you find some good lady hawks to make.
Yes, I did. Yes,
Absolutely.
I did. I got a handful right here. They are ready to go.
I don't want a metagame
Two
joke,
in the
but
hand is worth what?
I think she should have to roll to see whether she found lady hawks or not.
Damn it. I wasn't.
That sounds
open.
like a hot charisma roll.
Are you kidding?
No, I kid. It's the Me Too era.
Well, there's a druid move, or maybe it's a ranger move, something about summon the pack. I don't remember. One of them has it.
Maybe ranger. I don't know.
You're able to bring animals in, something like that.
I think it's usually a part of transforming.
Is it? Okay.
Like if you're a pack animal.
That could be. Okay. In which case,
No, I was mostly kidding. I don't want Trill to actually have to have sex with Eric.
well, not necessarily, no.
I mean,
even
unless
is
she wants
Eric?
to.
There's
The hawk?
Sex hawk.
The hawk.
Who's this? How did we determine that Mike was going to to be the sex hawk?
Because he did the
He just
voice.
started doing the voice.
He volunteered
the hawk.
himself.
I
know
feel
went
that
to
it
the
was a clear
bathroom, and I felt like I heard a lot
choice.
because all of a sudden we have a sex hawk.
He's like, where are my hawks at? I didn't know what was happening. And I realized, oh, wait, he's the hawk.
He is.
I found some lovely, lonely lady hawks.
Oh, Lady Hawk is
Excellent.
Lady hawk. Yeah.
Some lady hawks that are just
Rucker Hauer's running around here somewhere.
ready to go. They're interested.
All right.
They're willing.
I mean, that's important in a hawk orgy.
They really like that unique mark on your feather.
Oh,
They-
really?
Oh, yeah.
You might want to keep that.
wow.
They think you're super
They're
special.
like,
That's pretty
he has
cool.
a croissant on his arm.
Oh, hawks love
Don't
croissants.
tell him it's a bow
Hawks
and
love
arrow.
croissants.
Croissant.
They're looking for a gentle and easy lover.
Oh, that is excellent.
He's an easy lover. He'll
I
get a
mean,
hold on you. Believe
They
it.
are looking for what they can get. Like, they are ready to go.
Excellent. I appreciate it.
All right, so as the ranger, I feel like I have paid my proper debt to Eric, who has served us well.
As well as Trillium feels like
Yeah.
she has paid debt to.
Well, and I believe that
Uh-oh. Did you really have a bond to get a hawk orgy?
Trillium is a friend of nature, so I will be their friend as well. I feel like Brett and Trillium just keep working my bond.
We got it going on over here. Brett and Trillium.
And I guess if Mike's going to stick around, I need to make a bond with
Yeah, I'll have to create a new
Laramie
one.
at some point.
I'll have to create a new one.
Sounds good.
All right, so here's how we're going to treat it. Similar to when you have a failure and you would get an experience. If you think you have fulfilled the bond and the players agree, take a chip and cross that bond off, and we can write another one.
Well, she might think that my trying to pimp her out to Eric does not mean that I was her friend, but I do.
Well, conveniently, she's right here, and we can ask her.
So, I
that
don't
a
know.
friendly
Like,
I feel like we just
we're-
worked synergistically
I know,
to use
we-
nature to our advantage.
Right. And, I mean, you
That's
gained
twice
a
you used synergy
druid,
today.
Pimp in nature.
like a druid thing, right? And I think, well, no, I didn't gain a ranger thing. But only because it complemented, or it mimicked so many of my,
Right.
moves or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I'm good with forming a bond. I thought I already had a bond with Brett.
No, we do, but so when you have bonds in Dungeon World, when you role play in a way that like fulfills the bond or kind of makes it true or makes it happen,
Or if at any point you feel it's no longer relevant, like it couldn't possibly be fulfilled and it doesn't matter anymore, that bond goes away and you get an experience point. However, we don't play for experience points. We use the chips that allow you to use a +1 at a roll later.
Right.
So I would do the same thing with bonds. And if we think a bond has been fulfilled, let's get rid of that bond, grab a chip, and we'll take some time to come up with a new bond. Actually, this may be a good time, we've got at least a few minutes left in this episode. Does anyone want to address bonds they have and update them? Kurt, you mentioned you don't have one.
Well,
with
I have a
Laramie.
question because the only blank space I have left, I don't really like.
you
Unless
can
Mike
right.
thinks it fits, because it's blank has no respect for nature, so I have no respect for them, which I don't feel like that
No.
fits with anything about the way we're playing.
Those are just the predefined ones. It's kind of like the look. You don't have to pick stuff from the look.
Right.
What your character looks
So
like.
I need to think about it, but I probably would like to come up with one for Laramie.
Okay.
Laramie has a voice that I like.
Yeah. So I will imitate.
I will
him.
say it
Trying
ever.
to sound like Laramie.
Except you'd accomplish that in like
Every
next
time.
10
I love
minutes.
that it's Laramie and not like Laramir. Because in my head, I think fantasy Laramir, but like Laramie sounds like
Laramie Bernstein.
Laramie.
Country boy.
Like good old boy.
He's a good old boy.
Yeah.
Although I sort of think that my blank space actually goes well with Trillium,
Yeah.
especially after the threat of hawk sex. Trillium is a brave soul. I have much to learn from them.
Yes.
Oh, I definitely think that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially after the threat of hawk sex.
Right after I'm okay with that.
You call it a threat, she calls it another Thursday night.
Nice. Anybody else?
Crazy shit goes
Excuse me.
down
Anybody
in the
else have a
Druid world,
bond
you know.
that they would want to update, change?
Um,
I know, Kelly, it might be tough because you haven't been here a bit.
I know
but-
I haven't visited Bonds in a
But
minute.
based on
so-
how you see
you don't have to do it
characters
on the
working,
fly.
and it doesn't have to be what's written. So, for example, you could the whole point of a bond is it drives the relationship between the characters.
Right.
So you could do something like Uriel's constantly setting fires to things. I will try to convince him to stop. And then as long as you play that out at some point, that works. That's the important part. It drives an interaction.
Do you want me to tell you what I have already? Like,
Sure.
I just
Yeah, I don't
wrote in the
remember.
Yeah,
space.
let's do that.
It just says, the spirit spoke to me of a great danger that follows Uriel.
Oh, definitely.
And then the one for Breton says, I have showed Breton a secret right of the land.
Hawk sex.
Which I think that has been established, like, in the last few sessions.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, because, I mean, he rode me, so.
That's a secret right of the land.
There it is right there.
Yeah. Which was secret before we put it on the internet.
Now everybody just rides me, like,
Yeah, but if
no
that,
problem.
And now, if that's the case, if you think that one's done, which I would agree with,
I would agree,
If
yeah.
you go with that, then you would cross that one off
okay.
and take a chip that you could use later.
So
The
I
chips are
need
here.
one, and then you can get one.
You can pick whatever color you
And so
want.
then do we create another, like, do I create a new one for Trillium? And she
So
can
the
create
whole point of making sure you have bonds is because I want you guys to be using the aid roll.
Right.
And in
Yeah.
order to get any pluses on your aid roll, you have to have bonds with that person.
Right. So I have one with Uriel that I haven't really played out because I haven't focused on it. But remember, we were kind of from the same area originally, and I have guided Uriel before, so he owes me for it. Which is not a huge deal. It was just the idea that I had done a favor for you.
I have a similar one for you. I cast something into the fire for Breton and still owe them their due.
Right. So at some point,
Yeah.
right. So at some point, I'm going to call on you for something big.
And I have one for Lenore. I will teach Lenore the true meaning of sacrifice, which when I did my world, watch world burn, I have to sacrifice something. I sacrificed part of my memory.
Yeah. I don't know if she knows that.
Right,
That's the
that's
tricky
the thing.
part.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't know. And then I have an empty one, which was, has felt the hellish touch of fire, now they know my strength. And I know he had the whole undead thing. He had that undead rib thing or whatever came out. I don't know if that would count or not.
It was a demon.
Yeah, I don't know if
rib.
that counts
Yeah.
or not to fill in. Or
What
if
is that
not, I
last
would,
one?
Yeah, it's interesting. How
it's
does
blank. Has felt the hellish touch of fire, now they know my strength. So I don't know if that would go well
Although,
with him
yeah.
or not.
Like, it doesn't
you
really
didn't-
link to
you
you.
didn't really
No.
do it to do anything to me.
No,
so.
but it's well, this isn't necessarily. It's weird because it has felt the hellish touch of fire. Now they know my strength. Not necessarily that I did it to you, but you realize like, oh man, he derives power from that, and like my power comes from someplace that might not be good.
Right. I mean, that could be
per
like
se.
you had some other experience. I'm going to rewrite. I have this
I might have
one
to come
blank
up with
one. I'm
some
going
new
to come
ones.
up with a different one for Mike.
But anyway,
Like Laramie.
because I don't have
Can
one for
I-
her either.
Can I make a bond with Cloud?
As long as it still applies directly to Breton, yes.
Okay. I don't know. One of the blanks, it says, which I haven't filled out, it says, has tasted my blood and I theirs. We are bound by it. And I don't know. I think Cloud might fit well in that because I've been through some stuff.
As
with
long as
Cloud.
it relays directly to Breton. And now this is something that would drive your character forward, not necessarily in the past.
Okay. All right. I'm getting ahead of myself then, or
Okay.
behind myself. I don't know.
Yeah, my
I'm coming from behind on myself.
Yeah.
my bonds for Breton and Uriel are both sort of personality wise that I didn't really like actively go to change either of them. So I guess I wouldn't have accomplished either. Like mine is Breton's misguided behavior endangers their very soul. And like he still does like everything that he did before.
Yep.
And like it hasn't really affected the group too much. Aside from that one time where he almost got thrown in prison.
Right.
Well, he was in jail.
He was in jail because Kurt couldn't be here for an episode.
But I haven't really like said, hey, cut that out.
Yeah.
And like Uriel's is like,
So let me go on that one for a moment. Part of the thing with the bonds is if you feel they're no longer relevant. So, for example, Laramie could get to the point where he's thinking, there's no way I'm changing Breton. I'm not going to bother trying anymore. In which case, that bond becomes irrelevant, no longer applicable. So that would close out that bond, gives you the opportunity to create a new one with either the same or a different character. So that's actually a good way to approach that. If you think Laramie may be done trying, even if he hasn't really, really tried, he may be done even thinking about it. Like, Breton's incorrigible, just let it go. That kind of thing. That could be a way to close out that bond.
I think he's going to hold on to it for a little bit longer because I think there's a part of him that thinks that he might be a good influence on him. but we'll see.
What is it that I need to change?
Your misguided behavior endangers your very soul.
Are you talking about my love of the ladies or something else?
There's the imitating Laramie. You just got the experience. Nailed it.
And I feel Uriel's has stood by me in battle and can be trusted completely. And I think he is sort of working his way to my trust, but he's also like sort of has that darkness to him that he's not real sure if that's going to come back to bite him a little bit.
Now, we kind of montaged through it, but the battles within Kingsbury, everybody was fighting, it was balls out, kill everything fighting, get rid of the undead. There was no question if somebody was on your side or not, right? So that's something that could definitely tint your reactions towards him. And I don't know at any point, Chris, if Uriel would have done anything dark during that 2 days of killing bad stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that looks crazy though is that whole watch the world burn what I did. That's
Yeah.
kind
of creepy.
That's otherworldly. Yeah.
It's like he hasn't given me any reason to doubt him, but he still has this like very dark power
Yeah.
Use it for good.
that is like a mystery. So Laramie likes it, but I mean at the same time
When's he gonna flip?
it could be like like any
keep behind
I
that guy
kind
for
of
some
have the
reason.
same thing with Uriel. Like my bond with
keep an eye on
Uriel
that guy.
says the spirit spoke to me of a great danger that follows.
Well,
Uriel.
I set up a lot of my characters that where they have this duality, or they could.
Yeah, there's like a mysterious
vampire priest.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they can go right.
Yeah.
They're flawed. Very bad. But he tries to be good all the time.
like back when we were at Mount Dumas, like I had every expectation that you were going to step up and be the evil forger of the weapon.
I'd thought about it actually. I'd thought about it. Take it that way, but
Could have happened,
Yeah.
but it didn't.
It didn't.
We're good.
So right now he trusts him, but maybe not completely
Maybe he's
yet.
Drummond's boss.
dun, dun, dun.
Ooh.
Maybe that's why he wants to set up forges all over the world.
So now I just need to put a maybe at the beginning of that sentence. Hold on. I guess the last thing I would want to say before we finish up this episode is I do want to move the characters up another level. So if you want to start thinking of what you want to do with your characters, because we are actually getting to, I think, if I got to remember numbers here, this is going to be 26 or so into our campaign, and we usually go about 30 episodes or so, and I'd like to see the characters get their full, the full breadth of the skills that are available to you. So we'll look at going up to the next level. In our case, it'll be 7. And we'll do a little bit of that before we start up our next one, where we will be, again, hot on the trail of Drummond the Dwarf. In the meantime, we'll wrap this one up, and we can all say,
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.